Christine for a long time thought that the middle that everyone talks about, the middle that exists between two opposing poles, like east and west or black and white. Christine states, "For me, when I imagine the middle, I visualize the two opposing poles as black and white, and I immediately think of all our attempts to diminish this polar extreme. By those of us in the middle, we think of working in harmony and unity, and that we can make the middle utopia in one color, a peaceful gray." Christine no longer thinks this. Christine says, trying to find utopia or to make everything gray assumes that we can all agree on something. But that doesn't make sense for her anymore. The middle is generally made up of unique, one-of-a-kind individuals, and they are anything but gray. They are in beautiful technicolor. Christine goes on to state that the middle is made up of a plethora of colors and ideas. Folks in the middle want their colors to shine and dance and maintain their uniqueness. The middle is only a tough place to be when you think of it as gray. If the middle is a place where difference is respected and understood, where differences rock the boat and thinking differently is normal and the colors are anything but gray, perhaps we would not have these polarities. The golden rule rules in the middle. It is okay to be different, as long as we do unto others as we would have them do unto us.
When people use black and white as an analogy to describe something, say polar sides, everybody assumes that the black and white comes together and it makes gray. Those of us, myself included, who are in the middle, we're not gray. We're anything but gray. This is one of the major pieces for the middle is not gray. As you can see, I've got the polar opposites, and as you can see, it's huge. I'm 5 foot, and you have the black and you have the white, and you have these two sides fighting with each other and saying they're right, they're right, they're right, and you come into the middle and you see all this wonderful conglomerate of different things and different peoples, and some people are checkerboards and some people are green sprouts growing, and some people are lines moving and dancing within the work, and it all is about this enormous celebration of who you are as an individual, how unique you are as an individual, and you do not need to be gray. We have a road, and you can travel on the road in the space in the middle, and all these little things, here's the ladder, all these little things are how we travel in the middle, how we get along. We're not all the same. Here's a person in the middle that's yellow with red dots, and here's a person in the middle that's a red triangle, and here's a person in the middle with a yellow outline and red dots and yellow dots. So we get along and we work together, and we're not polarized. This piece here, you can see all the ways that we can travel through, communicate. These are my ways of showing communication. This piece is called Peace Plant. It was done in the spring of 2020. It was done right around when all the riots began in the United States, and there seemed to be a great upheaval in our country. As I was working on the composition and putting colors together and doing things, for some reason I had no control over where your eye went. And so I added these white leaves, which appeared like a peace plant's flower, and I thought, that's perfect for this time. There's a lot of layers, as usual. I have no problems leaving drip marks here. I have no problem leaving this drip mark. It's all something that happens very naturally, which is what my foundation is built on. This piece is one of the first rugged individual pieces that I painted. But this is called the red dress, and I chose red because that's my favorite color. But when I posted it on Facebook, I can't tell you how many comments I got from people about, I remember wearing a red dress like that. I remember my most favorite red dress and how I felt in that red dress, how it made me feel. That's how you need to feel all the time when you live your life. This piece is a self-portrait of me. So my image of myself, my very unique self, and I painted this because there's a wonderful story behind this blue dress. When I was small, I got a lot of hand-me-downs, and my mom did sewing, and she made me some wonderful outfits that she thought were absolutely super, and I hated. And one time when she was away for a holiday, the babysitter said we could pick out anything we wanted, and I picked out a blue dress. I felt like the woman in the red dress. I felt special. It was my first store-bought dress. This is Lake Superior, and as I'm sitting on the shores of Lake Superior and I see this horizon line, I say to myself, oh my gosh, which do I like better, the big sky or the big water? And then all of a sudden an umbrella appeared. These are going to be upside down umbrellas. I just decided that this morning. I'm going to put several of them in here. Don't know how many, maybe 3, not too many. It would overpower them. These are the beginnings of what I do when I make my interconnections, my satellites. I like the way it turned out now. I like that I have all the ways that we can connect up here and the umbrella's catching it, but they're upside down, and that's unexpected, and that's what I ended up naming it. I've been painting sunflowers for quite a while, and none of them turn out the same. And I love the fact that they aren't the same. This one here is one I just finished up. Definitely a different feeling to the sunflowers. Definitely a relief feeling of the paint. You can see it's thicker on the paper. It's kind of fun to think of things differently and present them differently and not worry about having them exact, because I've never been able to color in the lines anyway. So you get the idea that they're sunflowers. At the same time, you can be expressive about the whole thing. I talk about individualism and how unique we all are, and we should respect that in each other, and we should honor it ourselves and think of it ourselves, and that's how we find out who we are. I like to use the cowboy right here as an excellent example of rugged individuals, or a person that wants to recognize his own individualism and lives it. And for the most part, they're just extremely happy people, and they may disagree with other people, but they found their own space. A lot of them are out herding cows or living on the range, and they have coffee by the campfire. And everybody, when they think about a cowboy, they know that it's a rugged individual. There isn't any pretense, there isn't any glamour, there isn't any added baubles and dangles. They're just who they are. This one happens to be a patriot, whatever you think of a patriot as, and he follows the rule of law. He is a rugged individual. As I started painting her, she started becoming ethereal, and she started emerging from this foggy mist, just sort of drifting slowly. We all have friends like this, or one friend like this, or we know people like this, and you say, how can they go through life like that? And they just gently and casually live their own lives, know that they're a peacekeeper, and that's how they go about helping others, sharing with others, communicating with others. She avoids all the entrampments of being fenced in here and fenced in here. She just drifts through these things and brings peace wherever she goes. This piece here is about a woman who is searching for herself, who she is, searching for her soul, and where it is and what it is that everybody talks about when they talk about self and soul. And she didn't know where to look. And once she discovered she already had wings and she could fly and that she could do anything she really wanted, she was able to begin to find herself and her soul. And I titled the piece, She Didn't Know, meaning she didn't know she had wings. But imagine what happens when you figure out that you do have wings and that you can fly, and that's who you are, and that's your individual self. I started doing snow globes. It came to me when I was sitting in my chair in the morning having my coffee outside, and I would look up into the sky and I would say, oh my gosh, it's just like I'm in a snow globe. I'm inside the snow globe with the rounded corners. And the idea of being trapped inside something and how do you get out? A lot of my pieces have escape in them. This is the first piece representing snow globes that I did. It's a woman with that wiry hair, and here's the snow globe, and she has wheels that she floats around on. I think this is going to be a fun series.